Assalamu alaikum. This is Amdasir. Welcome to all of you in my today's class. As you know, we have already finished two chapters of our second paper syllabus. The first one is completing sentence, and few days ago I have already completed the topic right from above. And now we shall move on to the third chapter, that means narration or speech. This is the question number 7 in your second paper syllabus, and you have already known ins and outs of narrations as well in your previous syllabus. That means in 9 and 10 this chapter is much more familiar to all of you, but unfortunately it is a matter of sorrow that the student could not get the sufficient mark or proper mark from this chapter due to some lackings. And now today I would like to give you the proper rules and ins and outs, definitions, classifications, and all the ins and outs of direct or indirect speech. You know that narrations in the second paper syllabus is the most critical or complicated chapter, you know that, because in the intermediate syllabus narrations is much more crucial than your class 9 or 10 syllabus. So I just try to prescribe the best from of you, and I would like to take, or you know that is the long chapter, is the word chapter, you know that in the syllabus, and that's why I will take 7 or 8 classes with you about the chapter. First 3 classes I would like to mention the sentence based or narration, and then I would like to go to the sentence narration, and at last 2 or 3 classes I will take the previous board question solution. In such a way we would like to finish this chapter. Let's go the today's topics. The topic is narrations. Before having the structure or before having the known about the narrations, first we have to know what is narrations, and that is the definition of narrations. Let we know definition. You know that in the Bengali sentence we know about it, whatever the speaker says is called narrations. Whatever the speaker says is called narration or speech. This is the one definition I have given you, that whatever jaha kichu the speaker bokta says bole is called narration. Whatever the speaker says is called narration, and we can define it the other way also, that is suppose the speech of the narrator is called narration or speech. Look at it. The second definition, the speech of the narrator or the speaker. The speech of the narrator or the speaker is called narrations. In such a way, we have already known the definition of narrations. Let's go the classification of narrations. And from your previous syllabus, in 19th syllabus, you have known about it. Let's go the classification. You know that there have two types of narration. That is, the first one is direct narration, direct speech, and the second one is indirect speech. That means we have got two types of narration. There have two classification of narration. The first one is direct speech and the second one is indirect speech. Let's we move on to what is direct speech and what is indirect speech. For your better understanding, I would like to mention it here. Suppose direct speech. That means now we would like to know about what is direct speech. That means what's the definition of direct speech. Let's when a speech is quoted in the actual word, that is important. Actual words used by the speaker or the narrator. I repeat the definition again. This is the definition of direct speech. When a speech is quoted in the actual words, this is very much important for the definition. Actual words used by the speaker. Used by the speaker, it is called direct speech. When a speech is quoted in the actual words by the speakers or the narrator, it is called direct speech. And this is the definition of direct speech. If I say in Bengali, বক্তার বক্তব্য যদি এক্স্যাক্টলি তার ভাষায় যদি বর্ণনা করা হয় তাকে কি বলা হয়? Direct speech. Okay, and we move on to what is indirect speech. We have to know about the indirect speech. What is indirect speech? Suppose here is the definition. When a speech is reported, when a speech is reported without quoting. Now what is without quoting? Without quoting the actual words of the speaker, then it is called indirect speech. I repeat the definitions for your better understanding. What is indirect speech? If I say in Bengali, বক্তার বক্তব্যকে যদি হুবহু তার ভাষায় বর্ণনা না করে যদি অন্য কারো ভাষা বা অন্য মাধ্যমে প্রকাশ করা হয় তাকে ইনডাইরেক্ট স্পিচ বলে। When a speech is reported without quoting, this is important things, without quoting the actual words of the speaker, it is called indirect speech. And if we have an example, I hope it will be clear to all of you. When we would like to prescribe an example on the board, I hope all students will get the point, will clear about it. Suppose example 1, suppose he says, I am ill. Here is the example is given for you. Suppose if we have the another example, he says that he is look at it. Here is the two examples are given for you, and if we prescribe, if we know the two examples, then we can clear what is indirect speech and what is direct speech. Let's go the example. He says, I am ill. I am ill. That means I am ill is prescribed the speech of the speaker or the narrator, and that's why we call this sentence, we call this example is direct speech. Look at the second example is given for you, that is he says that he is ill. Suppose this is the word he says that he is ill. He is ill is not the speech of the speaker. Okay, someone may tell it, and that's why we call it indirect speech. I hope all those things you have already clear about it, and you have got the clear idea about direct speech or indirect speech. Today we have already known what is narration, what is the classification of narration, what is direct speech and what is indirect speech. Now it's time for me to prescribe or to discuss about what is reporting speech, what is reporting speech, or the birth of the reporting speech, the object of the reporting speech, and what is reported speech as well. And here, suppose I would like to give you an example. Rana said to me, inverted comma, I have done my duty. Now it's time for me to prescribe what is reporting speech, what is reported speech, what is the subject of the reported speech, and what is the object of the reported speech, reporting speech. Let's have an example. Suppose this is the example. Rana said to me, I have done my duty. Remember that I have done my duty is within the inverted comma. Okay, let's go. Rana Remember that Rana is the subject of reporting speech. Rana is the subject of reporting speech. Let's go the set. What is set? Set is the verb of reporting speech. Me, the word me. Me is the object of reporting speech. Let's go. I have done my duty. This line is remain within the inverted comma. Okay, that means this line is called reported speech. I just repeat the structure for your better understanding. Rana said to me, I have done my duty, is our example. Here, Rana is subject of the reporting speech. Rana is the speaker of the speech. Then the word said. Said we know the verb of the reporting speech. And then the word, we have another word that is me. Me is the object of the, we may call it object of the reporting speech. Let's go. I have done my duty. This is the speech. That means it is called a reported speech. I hope all those things you have clear about it. Okay. Today I would like to prescribe these things for you, and inshallah, if I have get the chance any more class with you, in the next class I will give you the changing of the rules of changing person, the rules of changing tense as well. Okay, and here is the homework of today's class. I would like to give the homework from first paper syllabus, from your first paper syllabus passage. Unit 7, lesson 4. You know that in your first year final, I have already given, I have already marking the few passages for you, and from this passage, the very important passage is given to you. Unit 7, lesson 4. You have to understand the all ins and outs of this passage, and you have to prepare your assignment with answering question, flowchart, even though in summary. That's in from today's class. Thank you all.